Hi friends, welcome to Sreedhar'scce Anantapuramu YouTube channel and welcome to our session, editorial analysis session. So what do we have every day? So we start with the quote of the day for the motivation purpose. We are discussing these root words. So already we are in the alphabetical order, E alphabet, and phrasal expressions keeping examine point of view, and vocabulary related to the editorial which we are about to discuss, containing all these phrasal verbs, idiomatic expressions of the related to the editorial, and also content vocabulary, tough vocabulary, along with their parts of speech and analysis related to the editorial of the day. And the last but not the least, test of the day with new shortcuts which will be very useful to your upcoming exams. So without delaying, let's get to quote of the day. Only those who dare to fail greatly can ever achieve greatly. Yes, so most of the people you see, they don't start. So the reason is failure. The reason is fear of failure. It's not failure even, it's a fear of failure. So, but the thing is, whoever dare to fail, like whatever happens. So failing is inevitable in every person's life. There is no person in this universe without a failure, whether you accept or reject or refuse. So definitely every person faces a failure now or then. So then why should we be afraid of this failure? So that is the point here. So you dare to fail greatly. What are the failure? What are the range of failure is? So you dare to do it, then your achievement also will be that great. So achievement, to achieve something greatly, you need to be ready to fail even greatly. So phrasal expressions, we have got to discourage from and dispute over. So to dissuade, persuade, dissuade. Persuade means to convince someone to do something. Dissuade means to convince someone not to do something. The teacher discouraged her from participating in the race. Discourage someone from participating in the race. The teacher discouraged her of meaningless. Your mind don't accept. Next, dispute over, like to argue over something. Argue over, dispute over. There is a dispute over the government's land bill. There is a dispute not on. On means like a dispute itself is on the government. It's not on the government. It's related to. It's over. So the government's land bill. So that's about idiomatic expression. Let's get to root words. So we are about to end this E letter related root words. ERG or ERGO, work related things. Ergonomics, study of working. So like economics, civics, right? You know that. Ergonomics is related to study of working. Environment, study of working environment, and not particularly working environment related studies is called as ergonomics. Ergo work. Keep repeating and keep revising, keep practicing. Energy, you got ERG in this. Energetics, you got ERG in this. The power to accomplish work is what we require. That is what we call it as energy. Energetic science that looks at energy and its transformation is energetics, genetics, robotics, right? So energetics is the science that looks at energy and its transformation. Next, let's get to ethno. See guys, so I'm giving only few examples here just to understand how this root works. So like you get number of words related to these roots, like 100, 200 words even you can get based on a single root. So understand that. I'm just making you familiar with that root related examples. That's it. So if you just open a dictionary and just search this ERG related, you get number of words based on these. Like some roots, different roots will interlock and give new words even, right? Ethno is related to people or race. Race means it's not related to running race. Race is related to like a people. Particular tega we say in Telugu, right? Ethnic beauty related to a defined group of people, certain particular area of people. Ethnic. Ethnocentric, judging on the basis of ethnicity of the people. So what is your ethnicity? Based on that, judging on the basis like that area people are just a little courageous. ethnocentric opinion. Ethnology, the study of people and races, is called as ethnology. Logy is another root. What I said before, interlocking two different roots interlock, ethno and logy, both interlocked and gave ethnology, study of people and races. Today's vocabulary: a light touch, careful way of handling or doing something. Abound, so bound, be plentiful, be abundant. Again, don't think bind, bound, that those are different. Abound is abounded, like to be present in large numbers. Sagacious, wise, thoughtful, sensible. So sagacious, says, you know, says, says, Rushi, so wise. Disinformation, deception or falsification, lie or falsehood. In the offing, coming soon, which is about to happen. Affidavit, a sworn statement, a declaration form is affidavit. So you listen this word now and then, especially at law related things, related points. Venomous, venom, like there is a Hollywood movie, it's poison. Venomous, adjective, poisonous, nasty, hateful, bitterly. Responsive, being reactive, flexible, approachable, sensitive. Polarizing, like separating, dividing, parting each other. Next, hate speech, abusive or disrespectful speech. Hate itself, you know, speech itself, you know. Age old, so old time, traditional, dating back, enduring, long established. Amplifying, so amplifier, you know, like intensifying, escalating, rising something. Fanciful, not real, impractical, unfeasible, unworkable, unrealistic. For one, which is a phrase here used for highlighting that someone is thinking in a particular way, even if other people are out or not. Incendiary, inflammatory, provocative. Incendiary, agitational, like provoking someone. Feel, if it is used in verb sense, inside or provoking something, especially an emotion. Goad, it's a new word to you. Next, in place, particularly set up, particularly completely arranged, established. Affiliation, so affiliated with, we listen this, right? Connection, relationship, cooperation, rapport. Flip aside, flip side, other side. Throttle, which is verb, suppressing, inhibiting, stifling, controlling, restricting. Throttle, suppress, remember. Euphemism, very important word, even comes in one word substitutes. Polite or indirect term, a mild or a pleasant term or phrase that is used instead of one unpleasant or offensive. Like some words are definitely offensive, somewhat degrading in nature. Feeling somewhat positive words instead of such kind of offensive words, that process is called as euphemism. Next, brush away. So brush away, completely ignore, like to remove completely, dismiss, disregard, shrug off. Shrug off is a new term to you. Wave, search, upsurge, ripple, outbreak, something which comes out suddenly. Legitimate, which is lawful, rightful, valid, reasonable, acceptable, reliable, right? Next, accountability, like you need to have accountability, that means responsibility, liability, answerability. Next, well thought out, carefully considered and planned is well thought out. So you thought completely in a perfect manner, that is a thoughtful, carefully considered, planned one, right? Measured, thoughtful, careful, considered. Liability, so again you got this, responsibility, liability, answerability, all these are synonymous in nature. Scrutiny, examination, investigation, inspection. Immunity, like free from legal proceedings is immunity according to this context of this editorial. Immunity means again health wise immunity is different case. So here immunity means free from legal proceedings is immunity. In this regard, so in connection with this aspect, intervention, involvement, intervene, intervened, interviewed verb forms. Well considered, like examined, thought out, planned carefully. Now what is the editorial about? A light touch on regulation, digital media. Regulation means controlling. Light touch means so shall be dealt carefully. Problematic content abounds in the digital space, but regulation must be sagacious. So here like immediately people get connected with this, what this passage is going to about. So like you open YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, like number of problematic content abounds, come in hues in the digital space. Like whether they are true or false, that they are going to trouble the people a lot and lot. So regulation must be sagacious, it's wise right now. Next, the government has in recent days twice signaled that more rules to tackle the problems of unlawful content and harm causing disinformation in the digital media space are in the offing. Yes, recently in Bangalore, almost every one of you is pretty familiar related to the Bangalore riots, which were caused by a person who posted a somewhat negative tweet about Prophet Muhammad related to Islam, that gave rise to great riots in Bangalore city. So it's because of Twitter, which is a social media handling. So here government has even in recent days signaled twice that more rules are going to tackle these problems related to unlawful content and harm causing disinformation, wrong information in digital media space. And the offing means about to be arranged. On Monday, in the affidavit filed in the case involving Sudarshan TV, responding to the Supreme Court's call for suggestions to improve the self-regulatory mechanism for electronic media, the center said that the regulation of web-based digital media is the need of the hour instead. So here, so all these things have started with the case involving Sudarshan TV, responding to Supreme Court's call for suggestions to improve this self-regulatory mechanism in the social media, in the electronic media. The center even said that regulation of web-based digital media, so web-based, website-based digital media is the need of the hour, of course. So not only this particular TVs, web-based media also has to be corrected, regulated. Instead, without any checks, it told the court digital media can spread venomous hatred, terror and violence. So of course, it's a very straight and crystal clear point that this digital media can spread venomous, very dangerous hatred and terror and violence even in the total country, in the total world. Without, on the same day, the Minister of State for Electronics and IT, Sanjay Dhoutre, said in a written reply to the Lok Sabha that his ministry is working to amend the information technology. So what he is going to do, the Minister of the State for Electronics and IT, he said in the written reply to the Lok Sabha, his ministry is working to amend IT sector rules of 2011 to make intermediaries means who transmit or transform this internet and all these things more responsive and accountable, especially this social media related. It is difficult to disagree with the view that the internet is a space where finding truthful fact can be often challenging, and that polarizing, dividing opinions, hate speech and disinformation abound. So here the thing is very clear. To disagree, it's very difficult to disagree that it's full of false facts. Everybody has to act. To find out truthful facts is a very rare thing in social media nowadays. So you see polarizing, dividing opinions, hate speech and disinformation abound means come in surplus. Many lives have been lost to such disinformation fueled violence in India in recent years, but it is also difficult to agree with the view that more rules are an answer to an age-old problem, only now amplified by technology-based platforms. So all these problems have been amplified or intensified or become severe through this technology-based platforms. So more rules are going to be only answers to this age-old problem of this social media, that more regulation will solve this that more regulation will solve this is a fanciful idea, unrealistic idea. So according to the author, for one, the laws to tackle incendiary content and hate speech that fuels violence are already in place. However, the law to tackle such kind of things is already in place. What is seen lacking is a will to uniformly apply these rules irrespective of political affiliation. That is the main point lacking here. The flip side, the other side, is that the net is a place where there is a free sharing of information and ideas, like everyone does that. So the question worth asking is if it is possible to ever regulate the internet without throttling or suppressing it like China has done. So is it possible, like whatever China has done, without regulating, I mean without throttling or suppressing, is it possible to regulate internet completely? The fear that bringing more rules is a euphemism for censorship cannot be brushed away. So however, so it's not something like to be ignored. These questions are all the more important because there has been a wave of investments in the digital news media space in recent years. So all these are more important because most of the people are putting their investments in this digital news media space. In the recent years, especially, a large number of these media sites and magazines pursue legitimate journalism initiatives which not only have the proper mechanisms to deliver quality but also operate with a high degree of accountability. So here, maximum number of media sites, magazines, they pursue legitimate, acceptable journalism initiatives providing a perfect quality related material with high degree of accountability, responsibility. Attempts at making new rules for intermediaries such as Google and Facebook need to be well thought out and measured. So it's not that easy like to keep full stop for such kind of things. So the only thing we need to do is, so these intermediaries such as Google and Facebook, they have to be attempts to make new rules shall be very careful and very measured. Earlier attempts at imposing a high degree of liability on them for content posted on their platforms have not survived legal scrutiny, with section 79 of the IT Act 2000 giving them some of the immunity in this regard. So already some attempts were imposed at imposing high degree of liability, responsibility on them for content posted on their platforms have not survived legal scrutiny. Already it was done with section 79(1) of the IT Act 2000. So that particular act gave them immunity in this regard. An intervention that is light and well considered is what will work. So intervention, involvement by the government is must. That is, light means careful and well considered, well planned is what will work. What's going to work in near future. That's all for the day, guys. So let's end this with test of the day. Here you got a sentence jumbled, so you need to frame them in the order. You can't start with of, you can't start with for, you can't start with upon. You can start with DRE. DRE based only to the remaining you can eliminate. So how I am treating careful. Can't start with of, can't start with for, can't start with upon. So only two cases are possible. Historical outcomes depend. Next, prediction is difficult. So which one is the most probable? So historical outcomes depend. Definitely it goes with C. So DC based, answer is D. So there is no matter of thinking more further. So if you want to check, you can cross check. Historical outcomes depend upon a large number. Definitely it takes off a number of factors, and hence E. Prediction is difficult for each case. So there it goes. So there is the perfection. Next, amount of damage rises as civilization people today are massive, becomes more complex, the ability. So I can go with the ability of a few. The ability, that means E based you got 2, ECA, ECD. So the ability of a few people today a massive amount of damage is the most probable one. So obviously answer is ECA, BD. No need to think the remaining even. Next, market may experience other real estate. So you can go with the real estate. It's not the remaining. The real estate means B. B based, how many are there? Only one. Answer is, wait, let's check. The real estate market may experience BAE, a boom during a recession if interest perfectly apt. So answer is unanimously BAE DC. Next, we need sustenance and cohesion. So you can start with we need. Okay, so you can't start with off, you can't start with chances are for A and B, but cohesion and connection can't be a starter. So you can go with A. Wait, let's see. We need sustenance. You can go with A. We need sustenance and a viable habitat. It's perfect, most probably. Sustenance and a viable AE. So answer is over. AEC BD. A viable habitat C. But we also need social. Cohesion and connection of falses. There it goes. And the last one of the day, tip of the balance, meaningless. 2 quick goals from Robson. Chances are there. The teams were chances are there. Evenly matched until meaningless in favor of England. Meaningless. You can go with either B or C. So B or C, you got only 2. So the teams were evenly matched until, that means you go with C. C, D, B. Until 2 goals, yeah, you go with C, B, D, A, E. You can cross check. The teams were, you can't start with 2 quick goals from Robson, somewhat meaningless. That's why the teams were evenly matched until C, D, 2 quick goals from Robson, B, tipped the balance in favor of England. That's it. That's all for the day, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching the class. More are yet to come. Whoever didn't subscribe to our channel and forward to your friends. And the last but not the least, don't forget to like. Thank you. Signing off.